So, I'm thinking this is going to be a setup for Makoto, because, you know, the knife was taken from his room. So, let's see. Also, extraordinary focus. Focus gauge by 2. Might as well. Alright, that's all I gotta do.
Let's begin with a basic explanation. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one...
You know, now that I know that this is a TV show, technically, and now I know why he is explaining it over and over.
Then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
You got it.
First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
She's alive, you dimwit!
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because
That's just because?
she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
You know, I'm slowly starting to hate you again. You were almost there.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Thank you, Byakuya Togami.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Alright, sounds good.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her is her gloves. Wait, her piercing glare.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
Byakuya and Makoto already know this.
And would you happen to know the answer?
Yes, actually I would.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Maybe, but there were no scars on her hands either.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that the corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to say, hey Kyoko, take off your gloves. Tattoo on the right hand, that's what I need.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Wrong.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Nope.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Wait, hold on. That was the wrong one. Dang it.
Shoot!
Okay. I am suddenly sucking at this. Hold on.
That
Let me review. The body was wearing notably long fake nails. Okay. Body before the explosion. It wasn't wearing any gloves.
burnt up
Oh,
in the
okay.
explosion.
There it is.
She was wearing...
Well,
Yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Wait, what?
Shoot!
Okay. Let me review again. We need to prove that she was wearing
This
gloves.
entire discussion is idiotic.
Why do I have to prove it's not Kyoko? Kyoko was standing right there! Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, she couldn't have been wearing gloves because she had really long fake nails.
that Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove
The
it.
dead body was...
They got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
I can't believe that I almost failed
No.
at the beginning.
There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Exactly, Egg.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
The fact that we had to sit here and figure that out.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Just gonna brush it off?
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
But we have the tattoo on the right hand. Okay, hold on. What else do I have?
Kyoko really is still alive. Then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
We have this nifty little tattoo of Fenrir.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What?
For real?
For real.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
Whose side are you on?
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
It's a wolf, actually.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Toko. Why are you like this?
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
I never thought I'd say this, but Byakuya Tagami, you're the only voice of reason in this place.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. I'll compare it with the sprinklers.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
Mukuro Ikusaba.
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is...
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
Oh, you're smart.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
About time.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Yes.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
I'm starting to not think so, because she was part of the game, but no, wait. Monokuma said that she was the one making the school regulations, though. There's one more person hidden in the school, but I can't think of who it is. Like the headmaster? No, it can't be.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
Yes.
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
But she's not. She's the ultimate soldier.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
Wait, then why did Kyoko tell me that she's the ultimate despair? I mean, the flashback said it like 7 times.
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Yeah, seriously, why did you tell me that?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba?
The ultimate soldier.
She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character?
She was important, but I don't know how.
Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
I don't think so, though.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
What?
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
Kyoko refuses to be wrong.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Okay.
Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record.
Okay.
The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Yes.
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
See, that's the thing. I don't think that's right, but at the same time, it solves a lot of issues. There's a 17th hidden student somewhere. But that's like... We've already met everyone. We've killed a lot of people, Mukuro is a thing. Who else could there be?
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Oh my god, I was right. They're going to try to frame me.
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. Me and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain.
Go ahead, Byakuya Tagami.
Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, The four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are Kyoko and Makoto.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. But it wasn't Makoto, and it wasn't Kyoko. I have a hard time believing it's Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name. First trial all over again.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
No?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
So about 9 in the morning.
Oh, but what time did we find the body?
About 9 in the morning.
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was it when the body was discovered? 9 o'clock.
I got it!
God, my
The
voice.
body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
Yes, but that's a pretty big time frame. So if we remember the sprinklers and how the body was wet before we got to it...
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
That's correct. The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. Okay, then it looks like the game's begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. Let me just check really fast. Because I know it's the sprinklers. The sprinklers are the clue. If it had been in the body before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. But if I check at the body... Where's the body? Blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground near the body. So that's not what I need to pay attention to. What I need to pay attention to... The explosion was burnt on the upper half beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire. Because of that, the upper half was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry. One side was wet and filthy with mud and grime. The other side was completely clean and dry.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
Yeah.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, let me check really fast. So they're really specific about the time, so it's the sprinklers for sure. Because it comes on every morning at 7:30, and this is impossible to change. So it would have had to have been at 7:30 or after 7:30. So the real time of death was somewhere around 7:30 and 9 a.m. Yep.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
I feel like I'm going to run out of time.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out of time. I'm gonna run out of time. I'm gonna fail.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, so it is the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock
At night.
Wrong, Byakuya.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
After I poured water on it, though.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Oh dear.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
He looks so scared.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
I wish I could deny your existence right now, Toko, honestly.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Because she was on fire. I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. The moment of truth. Okay.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Because the body before. Fuck.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Because this.
This should prove it.
Yeah, wait, why did it tell me that sometimes it's not going to be right when it just gave me the right answer anyway?
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
What are you talking about?
I'm so sick of her.
So am I.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
There you go, Toko. Welcome back to reality.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
So, that's an hour and a half for an alibi.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Thank you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Yeah, that's true. Where were you? Oh wait, no, she was like hiding in the attic, I guess. Which would mean that Muguru's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
What's up?
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
Thank you! Finally, someone's figured it out!
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
Thank you, yeah. There.
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Thank you for listening to Boss.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She mooched your style.
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
It's a motive, but not her motive, and also the wrong motive.
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
No, that's wrong. Sorry wa chigau yo.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Are you throwing me under the bus?
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
After all this time, after all the teamwork, you're betraying me now.
Interesting. I'm listening.
This is no longer a battle between all the students. This is a battle between me and Kyoko.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
It could have been the tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick.
Yeah, I know I do.
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
But where would the dirt come from?
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
To frame me.
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
You're not going... I'm going to find my way out of this. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. Again. Okay, I don't have much time, so I have to think about this. Oh, good, I have
By covering
time.
the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Okay. There has to be a clue hidden in the tarp somewhere. Let me see. Burnt beyond recognition, blah, blah, blah. Body has stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, there was no blood around the ground on the... No blood on the ground around the body. There would have had to have been blood on the tarp. Like, blood would have had to have touched the tarp at some point.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Wrong.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
How so?
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yep.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
The chicken. The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
The chicken.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Kyoko's really trying to get to, trap me.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So this is completely, not at all anything. But if all the chickens stayed the same, why did they not grab a chicken from the closest to the door? Like, they actually walked into the coop and reached the farthest chicken and then left.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
Absolutely.
Man, that's messed up.
Indeed, but we're dealing with a serial killer.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
I don't like your smug smile right now. I usually do, but not right now.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
Possibly, but where would they have done it?
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off.
Okay.
But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
Okay, but what about the knife?
They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
How do you figure that? I was with Hina the entire time after 7:30.
Huh? They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Yes.
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Oh, god damn it.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
Kyoko, why are you against me?
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
You know, to his credit, he doesn't sound like he wants to say that. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Narrator. Okay, thank you, narrator.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it?
Why not both? An alibi and a mastermind.
Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
With our luck, you'd probably get a 30-50 odd. I don't know how that's even possible, but it would be, for you.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
What's up?
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Now you choose to say something about the knife? This is more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we going to do with it? They gave it to me. They gave it to me. Kyoko.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Kyoko was the one that suggested it. I still don't think Kyoko did it, though.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
Why didn't you mention the fact that you got attacked last night?
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Just say you got attacked last night.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Silence you. I used that knife to kill Mukuro. No, there's no way.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Hold on. Let me see the disguised but dead body thing. Because if that's the case with, you know, the... Okay, so no. If it was the case that, you know, they disguised the dead body The tarp was already prepared beforehand with chicken blood. Why would she just sit down quietly? She would have already had to have been dead. But then there would have been blood everywhere. No, so this is what I'm thinking. So Mukuro was already dead before this. Everything we saw was just the corpse. So they put her down. She was already dead. No blood. They disguised the dead body with the blood on the coat. Put it over the body. And then they took the knife and stabbed her. But yet again, no blood anywhere. So she was dead long before the murder actually took place.
Automatically makes me the killer?
Hold up, wait. Let me see the Monokuma file. They were dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with the knife. They'd also been struck in the head with an object about the thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but they were at least several days old. Yeah, so... But this isn't actually a bullet. But this proves it. Like, it didn't say that stabbing was what killed her. Getting stabbed with the knife was not what killed her. She was dead before the blast.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No.
So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
There's no way I used the knife to kill Mukuro. Well, let's see. What do I
The
have?
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we
The
gave.
exploded body analysis. Hold on. No, that's not what I need.
Getting stabbed is
I'm gonna take a chance.
Right?
Okay, my chance was wrong. Yes, I see. What you're saying is I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
Okay.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
How is it I can
It really
prove
is,
that
isn't
I
it?
did not stab her? They removed the tarp. The suspect placed the white jacket on the body, which had been disguised with blood. So, the knife wasn't used to kill her. I'm gonna be wrong about this.
Did have that knife, but that seals it.
Just because I have that automatic.
Well,
Getting stabbed is what...
Yes!
No, that's wrong.
I knew it. I just couldn't find the right evidence for a while. It didn't click in my head.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
It means they weren't stabbed.
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Then what about the blood? The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
So did I until I checked it.
Then the knife...
Wasn't the murder weapon.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Yeah, because in the Monokuma file, it just said they were stabbed. It didn't say that was the murder weapon.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
Because we dismantled Monokuma and the bomb went missing.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Tell her, Naegi. You know, there's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. The fragments. Where are the fragments? There they are.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
Yeah, you have.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma.
I like how he says we, even though he didn't actually do anything.
It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute.
Yeah.
They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto.
Yes, you would. That's you're getting it.
And the only one who would benefit from that
Is the one trying to frame me right now.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Well, she was hit in the head with a pipe, and her wounds were several days old.
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Yes, I do, because it took me like 5 minutes to figure out. Oh, only 3.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Let me just look at this. Okay, Monokuma File 5. They were dead before the blast, they've been stabbed with a knife after the fact, they've been hit in the head with a pipe, and they were covered with other wounds.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
That doesn't help. I can only think of one thing that could have killed her.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Hold up. Let me see. So it's not that. Monokuma File 5. She was hit in the head. Although getting hit in the head has been confirmed to kill people. So it is the head.
The victim's fatal
Oh wait, body before the explosion. Hold on. Let me look at that really fast. Is that why she was wearing the mask? To show that there wasn't any head injury? Yeah.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
On the back of her head? Not the back. So wait, am I supposed to shoot this to make sure it's the right answer? Or am I trying to find contradictions? Yeah, okay.
Shoot!
Now I'm trying to find a
Then
contradiction.
Shall we continue the debate?
On the back of her.
And more than
Oh wait.
that,
Oh, okay, I see what I'm supposed to do.
Victim suffered countless.
and shall we continue the debate?
Yes.
The victim's fatal injury has yet
Yet to be determined.
No, that's wrong.
I keep forgetting I can scan the words.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Exactly.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
The pickaxe?
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Now I feel bad because I said the same thing.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with a metal end and call it an accident.
Absolutely.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Guys, can we get back to the murder mystery?
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
Now they're friends.
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Yeah, tell us, Byakuya Togami.
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
We can count on you, Master. Yeah, sure, let me just consult my, my analysis department, Makoto Naegi. The real murder weapon is, in fact, the chicken. It would have been the titanium arrows. Oh, wait, no, what? About as thick as a metal pipe. I don't think... They're not that thick, are they?
I got it!
No way.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
They just take an arrow and smack him in the back of the head? That's not how arrows work.
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
What?
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Thank you, Hina.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. And that secret is...
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Yes.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
Yeah.
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master.
Shush you.
You have no right!
There's no doubt that the arrow is the murder weapon, but there's more to it than that.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder
Bloody
weapon.
duct tape.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
They taped it together. They taped them all together. Okay.
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too...
I completely forgot about the duct tape.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
I feel like we're fighting a really losing battle here.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
Thank you, Toga Fukawa.
One stick is weak, so put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
Harsh? What?
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Wrong.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Yes, we do.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Fine. I have evidence. Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Other than the fact that I saw her right there.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Why would you have it?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
Yep, it's all a trap. It's all a trap. I second-guessed myself for a bit. Nope, it's a trap.
Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
The mastermind's trying to get rid of me and Kyoko because we're the only ones that have been, like, winning the game so far. And we've been trying to figure out the metagame, too. So, here's the thing. It doesn't matter which one they pick. If the mastermind gets rid of either one of us, we're done.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
Protecting me?
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Makoto?
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
I guess. What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? What was Byakuya's account? Hold up, let me see Byakuya's account. I want to look at it. Say that there was no corpse in the garden last night just after nighttime, so it can be assumed the murder took place after that. Byakuya said also he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night, and none of them were alone at any point. So Byakuya's account is not it.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
He hides everything from you, shut up.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Because she didn't have the, no, she didn't have the key.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the woodblock key was in Kyoko's room. How could she have gotten there? Are we gonna frame Byakuya?
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya!
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're...
You said I hid and then left the locker
Key in my own room. Correct.
Oh, no. What does that have to do with what I just said? Or do you just not know what you're doing? I might not know what I'm doing. Quiet, you.
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
Because how could she have gotten into her own room?
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant.
Yes.
And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction to what Kyoko just said. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. There's a trap the Mastermind laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind's trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. So if I pursue the lie, Kyoko's going to die. If I let it go, I'm going to die. And if I run away... Oh no. Oh. What happens if I run away? I'm pretty sure... Okay, so I've been told that there was a choice that kind of exposes a different ending. But I'm going to pick what I want to do. If I can, I'll go back and I'll do another ending later. But I need to do this right. I'll let it go. Well, actually, no. You know what? Nope. I'm going to pursue the lie.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Okay.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Wait. That's wrong. You had a key.
How else could the key...
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation. I didn't have because I'd given it. There's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't
Possibly have gotten into my room.
Wrong, Kyoko.
No, that's wrong. No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I use Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it.
I knew it. I knew picking that was going to be a bad thing.
So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Oh no.
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up. All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Kyoko.
But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
No. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
No. I don't want to see this. And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent, or regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. What? Ah! Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Something is extremely wrong here. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
What the fuck? Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? So if we expose her lie, Kyoko dies by getting squashed, which, by the way, that was a really terrible thing. Like, she was my favorite character. And just seeing her just, like, panic to die, being squashed. What do I do? I'm going to just let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
Me.
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of.
Me.
Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
It did.
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
There is a hidden side, Makoto, but I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to find it.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Screw you!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial.
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
And because you don't want me to talk about what's actually happening.
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
I'm gonna die.
Voting time?
I'm gonna die. Wait, there wasn't even a final, comic thing to piece everything together what happened.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
They're gonna vote me. I was right. They were trying to get rid of me or Kyoko. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Byakuya at least looks angry that this is happening. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job?
Yep.
Yep, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole class trial doesn't make sense.
Hey.
Makes perfect sense.
Shing.
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills.
Wait, why do I... Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Yep, it's gonna be the same punishment. This isn't right. No, there's no way. There's no way. Alter Ego? Alter Ego came back to save me. Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be. Alter Ego. Alter Ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
In other words...
What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. That stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get smashed and flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit. In a way, that's even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell's going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in the bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. What in the world is going on here? Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. Or die in a garbage pit. You know, that works. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And sending you to the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students. Was me, the ultimate lucky student. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zoink off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? Wasn't any classroom I've ever been in before. What the heck's going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in for sure. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego came back and saved me. And he used the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out. Okay, I found a door. And it's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked it up, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure of which liquids I can drink and which ones are the all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. Never surrender. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was sit there. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling from the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. Crunch! What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Trash, my friend. Trash. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it has tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
You have a cup on your head, Kyoko. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You had a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick sharp shake to get rid of the trash, and then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We'll talk once you're finished. Water! Food! Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, it's not such a bad thing to be good at. Alright, Kyoko, what have you done? What have you done? But Kyoko, why'd you come here and rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for a very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least, I did, once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. Amnesia. Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the Mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the Mastermind's plans. So the Mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean... somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the Mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself the whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the Mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the Mastermind's one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The Mastermind. One of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the Mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the Mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything.
What was up with this?
My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own, right? So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. How did I not piece that together? Considering you're the only one driving every single class trial. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. Headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Okay. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak headmaster? I said that wrong, but Hope speak headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
So,
My memory hadn't come back to at that point. When he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the headmaster, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever thought. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. But, how do you expect us to get out of here, Kyoko?
However...
Of course, once I got to the second floor dorms, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means... Everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following all the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may or not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean when I was attacked? During the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. That doesn't sound like an ultimate detective theory, that sounds more like an ultimate necromancer theory. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead. Because they failed.
Correct.
and their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. This is just like, okay, I want to point out, this is just exposition. This is legitimately just exposition. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But it's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want when they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means the mastermind's the only one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair? The other ultimate despair? What? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. What?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event. You're talking about...
That's right.
What happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. That... What was the point of that name? The name of that title? I don't get it.